A lot more fun coming up to talk on a Monday after a win. Very excited about the first win for the 2025 Vandals. I thought our kids played really, really hard against a quality opponent. I think people may have made a mistake thinking that St. Thomas was going to be some type of rollover game. That's a very well coached group. Coach Caruso did a very nice job with their plan, especially offensively, and we were fortunate enough to come out of there with more points than them. Definitely want to improve some things defensively this week. Definitely want to improve our communication and got to continue to work on our discipline. Very unfortunate having 13 penalties for 104 yards. Now, after watching the tape, I don't know that 13 penalties were really the 13 penalties that should have been called, but again, not to complain about the officiating. But excited to have you guys back and want to open it up for any questions from you guys.
We have a microphone for questions as well.
Coach, you have that, or Josh has that kind of opening drive interception, and then all of a sudden this big Sky Player of the Week. And where do you see his composure kind of being able to switch from a mistake here and then coming out and really putting it all out there?
Yeah, he kind of showed, I think, our fans who he is as a player. He doesn't get too rattled. I think last week was a bit of emotional game for him versus Washington State, but you kind of see the guy that we've seen since he arrived on campus. Very composed, very calm. And, the interception early, I think he just had a predetermined thought, didn't read the coverage, but from there, didn't let that affect him in any way, shape, or form. It was one play to him, and he had to go make a ton of other plays, and he definitely did that.
I promise it's the last time I'll ask about it. But Saturday night, maybe even Sunday morning, when maybe the adrenaline kind of went away, were you able to revel in the fact you got your first win under your belt?
Yeah, I mean it was hard to enjoy it right after the game, just because I felt like we needed to get so much better. But when it set in and really talking to the players after the game, it was awesome. Just to have that first win is huge, right? You can't get two wins without getting one. So I think getting that monkey off our back early in the season is good and definitely a positive thing to move forward.
When you watched the film, what was maybe something that stood out about Joshua and the entire offense that you could see from that view that you maybe didn't pick up from the sidelines?
I think Joshua played exceptionally well and just kind of took what the defense gave him. That's probably what I saw the most from the film. Still got to clean up some things, especially with communication and pass protection. I thought offensive line played good, not great. I know that their expectation, their standards a little bit higher than what you saw. But anytime you're disappointed in the way they played, and not me necessarily, but I know them as a group, and you run for 180 plus yards, that's pretty dang good. And we gave up a couple of sacks, but I think one of them was just a good decision by Josh, not trying to force the ball. Tony Harsey fell on a play, probably would have been open for a touchdown. But other than that play, the other sack was really not on the offensive line. So I felt like overall, that group played well, but we'd like to play better. And then on defense, just a ton, right? I think a lot of communication mistakes. I thought our guys were trying to make plays that weren't their plays. We had guys reading out of blitzes when we're in play at calls and things like that. So just some uncharacteristic things from this group that we hadn't seen in fall camp in week one. But I'm glad that we got them on tape and we're able to learn from this and not take the L as well. So.
Coach, what do you feel like is the biggest difference you've seen in the way you guys have played from week 1 to week 2?
I think offensively we're just way more composed. Like I think our quarterback was settled down. We were a lot more balanced offensively. Defensively, again, I thought you saw the reverse. Some things that we did well in week 1 we didn't do as well, especially stopping the run. They ran for over 200 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. So definitely some things that we got to work on both sides, but encouraged on offense. And I know our guys will take a hard look at that tape over the next couple of days and really improve defensively as well.
Yeah, Coach. Kind of all season, you really talked about wanting to be a run-first team. Mm-hmm. You guys ran for 186 yards. Kind of talk about that room and then the impact that Nate Thomas coming back had.
Yeah, Eli was a little bit banged up this week, so it was great to get Nate back. He was kind of a late addition. We weren't sure early in the week, but he looked really good Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so we wanted to get him involved. And if we could take care of Eli, do that in the process. And anytime you have guys like those three, you feel like, hey, we don't need to press our kind of bell cow running back to play in a week 2 game, because we can do it without him. Obviously, we're always better with him, but we've got 2 other great running backs in that room, and I thought you saw Art kind of step up. I think he had 15 carries in the game, and then obviously Nate getting a chance to play, and he didn't play in week 1 was great, just to see him back, and I think he's back in the flow of things a little bit as well. So I think it will really pay dividends as the season goes on, just getting him those early reps, and then obviously making sure Eli can get to game 3 as well.
Based on the fact that Utah Tech hung within a touchdown of Davis, hung within a touchdown of Northern Arizona, it looks like they might offer you a challenge. What do they do?
There's no question there'll be a challenge. That's a well-coached group. Lance Anderson is a guy that has done it at a high level. He was at Stanford as a defensive coordinator for a really long time. And I've got a chance to know Coach Anderson over the years. Used to work their camps back when I was at University of Puget Sound and Simon Fraser. And what I do know is they're going to be disciplined and they're going to fly around defensively. They are kind of a mix of coverages. In fronts, they're going to be in some personnel match stuff. That you get big, they're going to get big. You get skinny, they'll put another DB out there. So I think our challenge will just be to see the looks that they're in based off the personnel they have in the game, and have an understanding of what will change based on who they have on the field. And then offensively, and they're pretty exciting. They're a tempo type team. They like to get going, get guys on the line of scrimmage. I think you'll see some misdirection, quarterback run. I think you're going to see some different personnel groupings. I mean, they're from anything from 10 to 13 personnel. So I think they'll definitely pose some challenges, right? They're a good football team, and really, if you look at the 2 games they played, they kind of had Davis beat. I believe they were up 17-7 in the fourth quarter, and then came back from being down 34-17 to make that one close last week as well. So definitely a challenging opponent.
Just now that you guys have had kind of 2 very different games under your belt, what makes you excited about this team and where you still want to get to?
Like we talked about, getting the offense and defense to play together at a high level. But I also think whenever you have a situation where you can lean on each other, it's good too, right? I think our defense felt like, man, we're not playing as well as we'd like, but we can sure lean on our offense. Just like I think, a week ago, the offense felt the same. Hey, we're not doing as well as we want. We can lean on our defense. So overall, the experience of these 2 games, I think, really helps us, and we're really looking forward to kind of putting those 2 sides of the ball together and continue to do a good job on special teams as well.
Through 2 games, they've played 2 quarterbacks, and it doesn't seem like they have one that's a designated running quarterback and another guy that's going to throw it. How do you prepare for maybe seeing multiple quarterbacks that don't really have a tell in their play style?
They're going to be similar regardless of who's in there. I think both those quarterbacks are similar guys, so you kind of plan for the scheme and then adjust to who they go with. They played both those guys almost the same amount of snaps, so I think you're seeing more the schematic tendencies than the tendencies based off who's in at quarterback. So I think that's what we'll really study, really get a feel for who they are overall on offense and see if there's any slight differences when those 2 guys are in. But on the surface level, it's not that much different based on who's in at quarterback.
After that first game, it seemed like maybe you were offering a challenge to your offense to respond, and they did. Are you offering a similar challenge to your defense? Obviously, you guys came out on top, but you were talking about the things they needed to clean up.
Oh, yeah, no question. The great thing about that group is they already know. They know that's not the standard that Coach Dennis and our defensive staff has instilled, and it's not the standard that they've instilled. So I think challenge is probably a poor word for it, because I don't think I need to challenge them. I think they'll challenge themselves. But we'll certainly talk about the things that we need to do better to make sure that we can be a lot more successful in week 3.
Yeah, Coach, so after the game, you talked about the layups for the short and intermediate passes, and Coach Linehan talked about that during fall camp as well. How important were establishing those layups and establishing that for deeper routes in unlocking the offense?
Oh, it's huge. You want your quarterback to be in a rhythm. Anytime you can throw the ball on time, complete passes, feel like we're moving the chains every time we throw it, it just builds confidence. And I think that it really helps slow the game down for the quarterback. And when the game slows down for that kid, he's going to be pretty good.
And what about defensive adjustments? You talked about it a little bit, but what kind of defensive adjustments do you have going into this next game?
Well, I think the first half of the game defensively, we had a lot of checks based off of motions and shifts, and then you saw us calm down a little bit towards the end of the second quarter and then into the second half with more play-it calls, where we're just in some calls that we feel really comfortable with. We know the adjustments within the calls, and I think even though it may have shortened our menu of calls, I think our guys played faster. And so I'd look to see us do some more similar things, things that we're really good at, things that we can play no matter what they come out in. And so hopefully we can continue to do that this week as well.
And obviously Joshua Wood exploded in this last game. What would you like to see him improve on in the next coming weeks?
Just be consistent now, right? I think what you saw from him, that we should get that from him just about every game. A little over 200 yards passing, hopefully closer to 300 this week. He was pretty close last week, yeah, so I was 280 something. But, and then, getting close to 80 plus yards on the ground. He's a true dual threat quarterback, and want to see him just continue to be consistent this week, trust in his eyes, making sure that his eyes, again, start in the right place and progress accordingly.
It's maybe looking a little too far down the road, but these guys just played NAU and UC Davis in back-to-back weeks. Later this season, you'll do the same. Does it benefit you at all seeing this team go against conference opponents in their couple games this season and get it ready, or maybe does it even hurt you sometimes?
No, I think it definitely helps. I mean, you're getting a chance to see, both of their offenses and defense. I know for me, watching both sides of the ball, I'm seeing it all. I'm getting a chance to get a preview for those schools, and it also kind of gives us an idea of, how we stack up against Utah Tech in relationship to how we would stack up against those teams. We got a bunch of tape playing those teams, right? And so I think it definitely helps, especially our players, get some kind of context to what they're watching. The speed of those guys, the size of those guys, things of that nature. So it definitely helps.
More questions?
Yeah. What does your health look like this week? Everybody come out okay? Or?
Yeah, I mean, Emerson, he was a little bit banged up. I couldn't finish the game. We'll see how the week progresses for him. Hopefully we can get Michael Graves back. He's got kind of a little bit of a nagging injury, but I know he's very determined to be back. But other than that, we're pretty healthy. We've been very fortunate so far, knock on wood. So we'll hopefully keep that rolling into week 3, but definitely healthy.
As long as I have Mike here,
Yep.
Are you getting deep enough into the season where you can kind of expand your depth, get more kids into the games?
We're really not concerned about that. We really want to make sure that we play the best players. We've got some really good rotations with some guys, and I think especially positions that need rotations, defensive line, wide receiver, I think we're getting quite a few guys in. But we're not really in the habit of playing guys just to play them, right? We got to put the best guys out there to win.
Coach, tell me about LJ Harm and his punting. It's been crucial against WSU. He locked WSU in the 20-yard line multiple times, in the 10 multiple times. Locked St. Thomas in the 20 multiple times. Can you tell me how crucial his punting's been to your team and the special teams? Yeah,
he's been critical. I mean, I think a lot of times in special teams, you don't realize how good your guys are. You really just realize how if they're bad, they make mistakes. And I think LJ is showing that when you do it right, it looks good too. And he's really been a weapon on punt. We talk about that unit as being like a weapon because, again, you haven't done what you're supposed to do on offense. So we want to try to give our defense the best possible field position, and I think LJ's pretty dialed in. He does a great job with just normal punting, and then you get into those situational punts, like pin punts and things like that, rollout punts and things like that. He's also been exceptional. So he's off to a really good start. He's way ahead of where he was a year ago, and I think it's a testament to the work he's put in.
Everybody good?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. V's up.